everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network this Tuesday night. It's the Chase Series continuing for the Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series in the Anarchy Motorsports Series League. Tonight, things may take a turn for the better and turn for the worse for some drivers as we are at Sonoma, one of the only few road courses in the Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series. And what a time to have it better than in the third round of the Chase. Kind of a different twists and turns in this Chase Series as we started out at Michigan. Large super speedway racing down to Iowa, which was kind of an interesting race. And tonight we are going road racing here at Sonoma. So we'll have to see how this will pan out for some of these drivers as they have been working all week long, dialing in these cars, making sure they are ready for this road race tonight. Dalton Baldwin, your series points leader, coming in tonight. Just a few points ahead of Chris Ostrander, who picked up 2 positions last week at Iowa. Glenn Murphy Jr., who was in second, falls back to third in the points. The big mover in the hard charger from last week is Thomas Conetti. He moved up 9 positions to 4th overall in points. Mike Springer remains unchanged in 5th, one of the only drivers other than Dalton Baldwin to go unmoved week to week. In 6th, we've got Randy Arms, who also moved up 6 positions. Michael Tant falls back 4, moving up 3 positions. John Alez, Cameron Hearn falls back 4 positions. Actually, Cameron Hearn, give him a big shout out, recently got married. Congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Cameron Hearn. Philip Neese out there around the top 10. Tim Sandelin, Craig Embry, Kevin Trzynski, and Clay Dildine are some of the few drivers remaining in here trying to work through. Clay Dildine actually moving back 6 positions, on the contrary to some of the drivers who actually moved up. So things are just heating up here at Sonoma. We are going to move to the playing of the national anthem when we come back. We're going to be set. Drivers are going to go qualifying for a few. We'll talk a little bit about the race, what we got coming up in the Digital Forge lineup. And we'll be ready to go road racing in the Cup cars here this Tuesday night. Stay tuned, folks. We got a lot of great things coming up. Good evening, everybody. This is Dustin Caldwell coming at you here on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network this Tuesday night. Continuing our coverage of the Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series in chase round number 3 here at Sonoma. Drivers not looking forward to a road course here tonight. I was talking with them all last week in preparation for tonight, and they were worried that tonight's race would be the decision maker of who gets to the next round ahead in points. They are going qualifying now, trying to put down the 3 of their best laps to see where they'll start on tonight's grid. But your wheelman will be shown here tonight, adding that right-hand turn, some chicane work, some S's. A little bit of difference than your typical over racing, folks. Taking a look about the race information on your screen here at Sonoma. This 2-mile track. It's going to be 10 total turns here tonight in the Cup Series cars. We'll have to see how that will pan out for these drivers. Taking a look at the weather information down below, the air temperature out there, 81 degrees, very hot and very humid with a 50% humidity, mostly cloudy, and a very slick track tonight with 92 degrees down there on the pavement. Coming up in the lineup for the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network, folks, for all these viewers out there that tune in each night or only have a select night to tune in, tomorrow night we will be up on the iRacing Live portal with the continuing coverage of the Modified Madness Tour, the Championship Racing Association League. If you tuned in last week at Lanier, it's the Tour Modifieds and the SKs, or the Light Modifieds, battling it out across short tracks. Excellent, excellent racing taking place in that league. Thursday night, it'll be race number 2 with the Precision Racing League and their Formula Renault 2.0 League. Cars look similar to the F1 cars, but they do have a little bit less horsepower than your typical F1 car, and they will be battling it out this Thursday night. And got word today, special shout out to iRacing, we got that one actually up on iRacing Live as well. So you'll have 2 nights of iRacing Live coming at you here from the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network, and especially with the new overlay that we're using on that league. You have to tune in and check it out. It's a really slick overlay. Really like it. Look to see more things come from that overlay. So looking forward to bringing that race broadcast to you this Thursday night. Friday night coming up is the Interleague Championship Racing, the ILCR. That's 4 leagues battling it out in one series. You have the Loose Lug Nuts, the KMA Racing, the Max Velocity guys in the TWC VM, all coming together. A total of 37 cars last week battled it out, and they will continue on that series. As coming up Friday, we'll move to trucks. It's actually 3 different vehicles, Gen 6, Xfinity cars and Camping World trucks across 5 different tracks, a total of 15 races. All that great action will pick up Friday night at 10 p.m. So if you haven't done so, folks, make sure you hit that subscribe out there on YouTube. Stay in the know. Check us out on the web at forgebroadcasting.com or on Facebook at facebook.com/Digital Forge Broadcasting. Also, if you want to know more about tonight's league, the Anarchy Motorsports Series, you can find them on the web at amsleague.com. One of the drivers we're following here, Glenn Murphy Jr., is going to be one of the ones to look out tonight. Put a lot of time into this track throughout last week in preparation, coming off of that Iowa race that probably set the Digital Forge record for most cautions in a single race. I believe we were up to 18, pending the issues that we had with the server last week, but we stuck through it, and it was an interesting race, a modified setup race at that track, but they were able to come through after it. A lot of drivers, that's where we seen that the Glenn Murphy Jr. car, the 48 car we were just following, actually fell back to second position. Or fell back, from second position to third position overall in points due to that race. He actually lost about 15 points. So tonight he finds himself 11 points back from Dalton Baldwin, who is in turn 9 points ahead of Chris Ostrander. A couple other drivers still remaining on the track. As we see, there's Mike Springer. One of the guys that's kind of bloomed late in this series, this 32 car, the In-N-Out Burger Chevrolet. He's really bloomed in this series, coming up, making some good top 5 finishes. Started out this series probably around an average of 10th position. He found himself up in some good top fives. So one of the guys that could be the ringer here tonight. So we'll have to keep an eye on this guy right here, 32 of Mike Springer. Been looking to set down some good lap times, especially late in the race. One of the newcomers to this series, as we watch him go wide in the turn there, the 88 of Scott Brisk in that Mountain Dew Chevrolet Dale Jr. paint scheme. Came into this race a little bit late, started around Pocono, had a early race incident there, first lap incident off of turn 4, where Conheady and Brisk got into it. They were both running consequentially the same paint scheme, almost looking like teammates, and they ended up causing the first caution in that race. So Scott Brisk, good things to come out of this guy. I'll have to see how he'll perform here at this road course. Car looking really loose as that track is really warm down there and very slick. Tyler Popp in that Home Depot throwback Tony Stewart paint scheme in that Chevrolet, because iRacing does not have a Dodge car. The number 20 car is another late bloomer to the Anarchy Motorsports Series Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series. And wow, did he really hit that rumble strip hard. Looks like those are the only 3 drivers trying to put down a good lap time. Pretty much everyone else is in. And take a look, he's got some front end damage on the hood of that car. As we watch him make his way through the final few turns here of this track, coming down the hill and around. Comes down to the 10th turn here, around that heavy U-turn, or chicane, whatever you want to call it. Right in front of the start-finish line. So we should probably see Tyler slow up here and probably come to a stop. Heavy stop there as you see the smoke roll off the car. Got his lap time in. Scott Brisk, the last driver out there trying to finish a good qualifying time, as we watch him actually come up the hill. Going to go around for another turn into the 4th turn here. Very tight turn, and you can see how wide he has to swing. Consequently, that turn, if you've watched NASCAR for a while there, that was a big turn there where Jeremy Mayfield, way back, got into a big incident and caused a big hang-up on that turn. Through the S's, we see Brisk go here. Just a few moments remaining in qualifying time. Should be able to get this lap in time. Coming down to the final parts of the track here. He's going to work his way through the turn and make his way down towards pit road into the final turn. And he's got to slow up really hard. So Scott Brisk, looking like he's having some trouble here at Sonoma during the qualifying lap, will make his way across the start-finish line, and that should conclude qualifying for this evening. Fast car tonight looks like it's going to go to the 51 of Ryan Cobb. Call him race director Ryan, as this guy normally is behind the race directing situation, but unfortunately tonight, actually in the last few races, ever since the All-Star races, he saddled up in a car and has been racing. And Scott Brisk decides to take a shortcut coming up into turn 3. And that hairpin turn right there. Really tough to negotiate that. You want to swing kind of wide to be able to work your way around it. If you come right at it, you're going to find yourself oversteering the car. And it looks like qualifying has come to a close, folks. Go ahead and get you down to the track, show you the grid and where the drivers are at this evening. Again, appreciate you tuning in to the broadcast here on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network for the Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series. Chase round number 3 here at Sonoma. We got a little bit of finesse here that we got to do. As unfortunately, yes, I do like to race and iRacing from time to time, so have to turn off the race radio, folks, because definitely would not want to hear what these drivers say during a race. Sure you would, but unfortunately it wouldn't be good for the broadcast. So as we make our way down to the grid, there is your pole sitter here tonight. Starting in first position on the pole, the Florida driver, number 51, Chevrolet UCF of Ryan Cobb. To his outside, you've got that number 87 car, Craig Embry, and that Cambella's Chevrolet. Starting third position, inside row of that, or inside lane of that second row, if I can get my words correct here, that is Randy Arms and that Hewland's Chevrolet. To his outside, the guy you're going to watch here tonight, folks, the number 32 of Mike Springer and that In-N-Out Burger Chevrolet. California driver, you can call this his home track. Starting in fifth position here tonight, the number 48, that is Glenn Murphy Jr. in that Lowe's Chevrolet Jimmy Johnson Tribute Paint Scheme. To the outside, the guy we saw at his home track a couple of weeks ago at Michigan in that Fago Chevrolet. In sixth position here tonight, the Michigan driver, Kevin Trzynski. Looking back to the inside row in seventh position, that 86 of Dylan Landry in that Under Armour Chevrolet, one of the Landry cousins that started late in this race. To his outside, you'll have that number 38 of Philip Neese, one of the only few drivers running a Ford Fusion in this series. Starting in ninth position here tonight, the number 20 of Tyler Popp in that Home Depot Chevrolet. To the outside of him and rounding out your top 10 here tonight, the number 88, that is Scott Brisk in that Mountain Dew Chevrolet. A few other notables out there on the field. Thomas Conheady, Chris Ostrander requesting the tail tonight, as he's going to try to salvage any early incidents here, as there will not be cautions, folks. So it's kind of like road course, true road course effect. They'll get a rolling start for the first lap, and then they'll go racing here tonight. So the pace car's lights are off. They are warming up those tires, ready to go racing. A lot of twists and turns been in this race, the Chase Race Series, since it started a couple of weeks ago from a super speedway to a short track. Now to a road course, where there's even more twists and turns ahead. We'll find out who will emerge victorious and continue on in this Chase Series to go into next week at Daytona, looking to set themselves up for a potential win in this Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series. Through the final straightaway they come, folks. Pace car set to go into the pits, this time by... It's going to be Ryan Cobb up front with Craig Embry. There goes the pace car. And around that turn they go into the front stretch. Embry has the lead. Got the weight on Ryan Cobb, and here we go! Off to the race for 36 laps of road racing action coming at you, Gen 6 style here this Tuesday night. Up the hill to the first couple turns they go into turn number 3. Ryan Cobb takes the field. Let's see how that field reacts tonight to that first hairpin turn. Once they get through, this is the third turn here, as they come down the hill towards turn number 4 into that hairpin turn. Let's see what happens. Cobb's able to get through without any issue as we continue on looking. Looks like all the drivers are making it through solid. As we follow Kevin Trzynski through the 5th turn, just behind Glenn Murphy Jr. They are working that rumble strip down through the S as they go. Ryan Cobb making his way around to that final turn. Into that final straightaway. Through turn number 9 he goes. Down towards turn number 10 in the first lap. And Ryan Cobb has Craig Embry right behind him. Launches Now the back 10 turn into the front stretch he goes. Coming out through the start-finish line. Into that first turn with that hill climb he goes. Nice little hit and turn there in turn number 2 as he continues to climb up the hill. And yet again into the third turn he goes. So Cobb has this track figured out already as we see Mike Springer and Glenn Murphy Jr. back there rounding out the top 5. Trzynski just outside has Dylan Landry behind him. And Landry's looking for an inside finish early on this race. And there is your race leader, or series points leader, ladies and gentlemen. Dalton Baldwin, number 4 car, running that advanced auto parts scheme tonight. These guys are looking solid early on here as they work their way through, and some hang up there from Randy Arms. He really had to get on those brakes. Ryan Cobb now coming across that start-finish line. 33 laps remain tonight, and he is on fire, ladies and gentlemen. That 51 Chevrolet UCF car, making his way through turn number 2, has a 1.5-second lead over the 87 of Craig Embry. As he works his way into that third turn, still climbing that hill. Using a little bit of rubble strip action down the straightaway, down the hill towards turn number 4 he goes. A nice little hairpin turn, and he takes it like a champ. Ryan Cobb, still your race leader. As we see Dylan Landry still chasing that Fago car of Kevin Trzynski. Dalton Baldwin nowhere to go. Looks to the inside on the brakes, and he's going to slide it. Kind of a little bit of a Dukes of Hazzard move there, so he's going to get a little time penalty. Has to slow up just a little bit for cutting the course. And Baldwin, one of the few drivers in a Toyota Camry, making his way through the field here in 8th position. As you can see, he started 11th, just outside the top 10. And he's already up to 8th. We'll see if he's got what it takes to claim victory here tonight as Landry goes into the turn. Slide up action. 83 of Dykstra the third. Nick Dykstra. Oh, Philip Deese gets loose. And that's going to allow Stephen Landry to go screaming by in that Nike Chevrolet. Coming across that start-finish line with 32 laps to go. Ryan Cobb now up the hill. Down the back straightaway towards turn number 4. That nice little hairpin turn. He's going to roll right through it. Bump over the rumble strip they go. Still over 1 second lead. 1.3 second lead here for the 51 over the 87 of Embry. As we see Randy Arms trying to hold off Mike Springer now. Through the S's they go. Dalton Baldwin behind Dylan Landry back there in 8th position. Makes his way through the S's. Final straightaway, he works himself behind that Under Armour Chevrolet who gets wide. Coming down towards pit road, here comes Trzynski, Landry, and Baldwin. And it looks like Landry got to the turn a little bit better, but does not have the momentum to catch that 12 car through the front stretch. Climbing that hill towards that second turn and into turn 3. Ryan Cobb now over 2 seconds lead over the 87 of Craig Embry. Take a look at that. Springer has a little bit of daylight between him and Glenn Murphy Jr. who now makes his way through the turn. Up with Kevin Trzynski, and wow, did Dylan Landry have to get on the brakes there. Through the S's they go. These guys are a close-knit battle right here. Landry and Baldwin. Baldwin trying to to get around that 86 car. Looks to the inside as Dylan Landry's been pushing wide. Coming into that 9th turn. Around turn number 10 they go. And wow, did Dylan have to get on those brakes. But he's able to make that inside pass, ladies and gentlemen. Number 4 of Dalton Baldwin has passed Dylan Landry and has taken over 7th position. With 30 laps remaining tonight. Climbing that hill through the 3rd turn comes the 51 of Ryan Cobb. Into the 4th turn he goes. Still hanging on to it. This time able to get through without going over the rumble strip. And around the 5th turn. Just under a 2-second lead. Now over a 2-second lead. As he works his way through the S's, Craig Embry trying to catch that 51 car. Scott Brisk, he's shown getting a little bit loose tonight, right there behind the 73 of Chris Ostrander. You can see he's still continuing to struggle early on in this race. He started 10th position here tonight, fell back 7 positions early on in the first 5 laps. Even a little bit of connection issues there with that 88 car. Thomas Conheady having some issues. Has seemed to gone down pit road. Back quick. I think Thomas Conheady had some issues late in the turn. It was down pit road and having a bit of issues. We'll have to get an update for you on that, folks. Down to turn number 10 by pit road, and you can see the smoke just rolling off those tires. Ryan Cobb getting on the brakes really hard through that narrow turn. Randy Arms able to hold off the 32 of Mike Springer to hang on to 3rd position. 28 laps now remain. Murphy Jr. works his way up towards that 3rd turn, coming off of turn number 2. We'll look to climb the hill yet again. It's kind of a blind turn when you get up there through both turns 2 and 3, folks. You're going uphill and turning right. Springer heavy on the brakes there as Cobb now makes his way through the S's. Looking solid early on tonight, folks. There is your race leader, Ryan Cobb, the Florida driver. Started on the pole and has been up front ever since. Total of 7 laps led. He's working on lap number 8 now as he makes his way into that final turn. Follow the 51 of Ryan Cobb. The 87 of Craig Embry right back behind him now has cut the lead to a half a second off of that 2-second gap. Down to 1.5 seconds behind the 51 of Ryan Cobb as he comes down the final straightaway here. And wow, on the brakes hard, Tyler Pop. Excuse me, that was Mike Springer. Cobb crosses the start-finish line. 26 laps remain tonight. Tyler Pop spinning out through that final turn. Feeling the effects of these slick turns here at Sonoma, folks. 95 of Rob Haynes, one of the newer guys to the series. Putting a lot of pressure on the car. Lance Carpenter trying to hold off the 73 of Chris Ostrander. Carpenter in that 16 Pepsi Chevrolet. Ostrander in the 73 Budweiser car right behind him. And Cobb, now Embry has gained his way back to the 51 of Cobb, but he spins out. And here comes Randy Arms. Taking over second position, Mike Springer battling for third, so Embry from second to fourth, just like that. In the matter of a front stretch, was really digging to get up to that 51 of Ryan Cobb, and Ryan Cobb now can breathe easy. He's up to almost a 3-second lead over Randy Arms. Through the third turn he goes, down the hill towards that fourth turn. And lovely hairpin turn, and Cobb over that rumble strip will continue to lead on. So Embry now has some work to do behind Springer to get back to that second position. Randy Arms and Mike Springer, as well as Craig Embry, through the S's. Towards that turn, you can see Ryan Cobb get on the brakes. The smoke flies. Gets through that turn, and Craig Embry with a little bit of contact to Springer, trying for that inside pass. And Springer denies it in third position. So Craig Embry a little bit frustrated after losing 2 positions just about a lap and a half ago. Now continues to look at that bumper of Mike Springer as they work their way towards turn number 3. Embry waiting for the perfect time to pass as he goes into the 5th turn. Glenn Murphy Jr. been sitting up in the top 5 all night, now has Dalton Baldwin. These two guys, folks, if you've tuned in and watched a lot of the races this season, these two guys have found themselves by each other, usually normally at the lead. But tonight they're battling for 5th position as Glenn Murphy Jr. holds it, Baldwin wants it, as they make their way into that final front stretch here. Oh, and Landry screams to the pits, barely misses. Wow, Dalton Baldwin able to go to the inside as Glenn Murphy Jr. shaken up from that Stephen Landry incident. Landry down pit road, smoking heavily. Had some contact that last lap, will make his way to the pit box to get a fast repair. That little incident shook up that 48 of Glenn Murphy Jr. enough to allow Dalton Baldwin to pass him on the inside on turn number 10. As we watch that 84 to his pit box, there's the fast repair in action. He'll get a full pit stop out of it. So Landry goes 1 lap down with Ryan Cobb through turn number 5, trying to hold off the number 8 of Randy Arms. He's just a second and a half behind. pretty much running the gap that Craig Embry was running. Embry was able to get around Springer and now over into third position. As we watch Ryan Cobb through that turn. No smoke this time from the 51. A little bit of smoke there for the 87 of Embry, and then Springer looks to regain some time. Murphy Jr. behind Baldwin as they come out of that final turn into the front stretch. "22 laps now remain here at Sonoma as we watch the 51 of Ryan Cobb still continue to lead this race. Now looking at the bumper of Springer. Springer through the fifth turn. In fourth position, you can see that 4 car back behind him. As we take a look at the information on Dalton Baldwin here, making his way through the S's towards that last turn for that straightaway. He's just about 2 1/4 seconds behind Springer. About 7 1/4 behind Ryan Cobb. And Springer heavy on the brakes through that turn. Baldwin rolls through it. Gets back on the gas, and he is making his way down that front stretch. Embry now up towards turn number 2. Is staring down the number 8 of Randy Arms. Arms has fallen to about a 2-second gap to Cobb as they come into turn number 3. Down towards that fourth turn. Will Craig Embry have a chance to pass on this lap as Randy Arms heavy on the brakes through that hairpin turn into turn number 5. Craig Embry putting the pressure on that Hewlett Chevrolet through turn number 5. Working his way to the S, as you could tell that Randy Arms is feeling the pressure. Little bit of mistakes here. Every little mistake giving some ground to that 87 as they come through turn number 9 into that straightaway. Will this be an opportunity for Embry to pass here at turn number 10? Let's take a look. He's looking to that inside. Oh, and he's going to tag some tires. See some damage there. He scraped those tires coming through. What a Dukes of Hazzard move, ladies and gentlemen. And Craig Embry is back to second position with 21 laps to go, and now 20 laps to go. Take a look at the right side of that car. He scraped those tires hard. Now behind the 88 of Scott Brisk. A little bit of lap traffic will concede, allow the lead lap cars by into turn number 3. Craig Embry closing the gap quick to Ryan Cobb. Pushes a little higher through turn number 4. He is on the move, ladies and gentlemen. Craig Embry, that Cambella's Chevrolet, back with a vengeance after losing 2 positions on a turn 10 passing attempt about 5 laps ago. Saw Randy Arms and Mike Springer pass him, but he has worked his way back, really driving the wheels off of this car down that front or back stretch. And there goes Ryan Cobb into the pits. So the pit stops begin here at Sonoma, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Cobb, your race leader, making his way down for his first pit stop of the evening. Hopefully we'll only have to take 1 pit stop, maybe a splash and go. We'll have to see how that'll play out. I do appreciate you tuning into the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, some more road race action at Sonoma to come your way. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
AMSLeague.com is the premier iRacing league for action-packed racing from green to checkered. Prepare yourself to start every week right with the AMSLeague.com Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series, Tuesday nights at 9:20 Eastern Time, right here exclusively on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. You will not find a better connected oval league and community in the iRacing service. AMSLeague.com provides the highest level of competitive racing while holding true to our Have Fun First motto. Prepare yourself for the best Tuesday night oval racing on Sim Racing Earth at AMSLeague.com. Also, check out our Monday Night Truck Series and Wednesday IndyCar Series. And remember, you can watch all of our Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series races live, right here on the Digital Forge Racing Network. AMSLeague.com. A premier iRacing league with a great group of drivers.
Welcome back to Sonoma this Tuesday night. Full course caution actually thrown here, folks, with about 18 to go, as the hood of Dylan Landry's car came off and landed on the track, causing a few cars to spin out, which ended up throwing a full course caution. Follow the number 4 car of Dalton Baldwin, who's currently in 4th position. Ryan Cobb, who's been your race leader all night, now will be bunched back up with the cars. The rest of the field will be able to join him, close that gap, and a very hungry Cambella Chevrolet, that driver, Craig Embry, in the 87 car right behind him, tried to make an inside pass on the turn coming up as you're watching the pace car come to this turn number 10, folks. Craig Embry tried to make an inside pass here, and in doing so got loose. Randy Arms and Mike Springer were able to get around him. So as we come to the start-finish line, the lights should be coming off the pace car this time by. back under the green with 15 laps to go. Again tonight, folks, this is the Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series Chase Round number 3 here at Sonoma. Coming up next week on the schedule, they will be at the old Daytona track, the Circuit 2007 before the repave job was done, a very bumpy track. Then they're going to move on to the Brickyard, Indianapolis Motor Speedway for 70 laps there. Little super speedway action there, that 2.5-mile track. Finishing out the series championship at Kentucky for 125 laps coming up on July 12th. So just after tonight, 3 races remain in the Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series. Only one driver can take it away. And Ryan Cobb doing what he can to take away some good points from Dalton Baldwin and Chris Ostrander, Glenn Murphy Jr. as well. Shaking things up late, I should say midpoint of the chase race after the 6 races. Officially at the halfway point after tonight. As they make their way towards that final straightaway, folks, Ryan Cobb going to be set to go. Through that 9th turn into that final straightaway. Pace car will be into the pits in the 51 of Ryan Cobb. Here they go, warming up those tires. Pace car into the pits. Ryan Cobb, Craig Embry making their way around turn number 10. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Flagman ready to give the signal.
Green flag,
and the green flag flies. We are back to the race with 15 laps to go. And Springer looked like he was going to have an outside run on Randy Arms, but got close quick into turn number 2. Randy Arms still holding on to 3rd position as Embry closes in on that 51 through turn number 3. You can tell this Chevrolet wants to get around that race leader. Pushes wide through turn number 4. And that's going to give some daylight to the 51 right now into turn number 5. Cars begin to work out, and take a look at the battle back here with Dalton Baldwin. Baldwin fell back to 9th position. Through the S as he goes. Behind the 83 of Nick Dykstra. Baldwin looking to get around the 83 Skoll car into that final straightaway. And wow, some cars are pushing heavy, and that's going to allow the 4 car of Dalton Baldwin to move into 8th position, right behind the 38 of Philip Neese. Cobb out into the front stretch. 14 laps now remain. And UCF Chevrolet makes its way through the first couple turns, and here comes Craig Embry. Wow, is he ready to make a pass on Cobb? Towards that 3rd turn, they're going to climb the hill, and Cobb just got a little bit loose. I think he's feeling some pressure here, folks. Let's see what happens here in turns 4 and 5. Embry to the inside. Beautiful move into that 4th turn, not losing an inch off the 51 of Ryan Cobb. Into turn number 5 he goes. Oh, he is closing in quick on Ryan Cobb, ladies and gentlemen. Through the S's comes Embry. Really putting the pressure now on Ryan Cobb. Let's see if he's able to make that pass through that final turn of this lap, folks. Embry has been looking to make some passes. Here we go. And protecting that inside. Wow, and he's still going to try it. Ryan Cobb protected that inside, but Embry said, I'll take it even further. Sailing over that rumble strip, and then now 13 laps remain as they cross the start-finish line. Randy Arms looking to join the battle up front. Climbing that hill quick, slowing up just a little bit. Let's jump back to 6th position as now Dalton Baldwin passing Stephen Landry, or Dylan Landry, excuse me, who does not have a hood. As we told you earlier, the hood came off of that 86 Under Armour car, and he's running without it. Dykstra through turn number 4, and what a battle we have got back here around position number 6. Murphy Jr. just ahead of Baldwin, the 48 Low Chevrolet. Will make his way through the S's coming up. Baldwin on his bumper, and on Baldwin's bumper is Dylan Landry. And Baldwin with a pass to the inside of Glenn Murphy Jr. now takes over the top 5 slot. Landry looks to the inside of Murphy Jr. will not have it into the final turn, and Baldwin heavy on those brakes through that turn. Saw the smoke fly, and Landry gets loose. Back up to the race lead, and Ryan Cobb has a 1.8 second stun in my voice coming from the fact that Craig Embry was not there. Embry got a little bit loose, and yet again, Springer and Arms go around that 87 car. With every inch that this 87 Campbell Chevrolet of Craig Embry has made, it has come back to Honda. Arms now trying to hold off Springer through the 5th turn, will do so as they make their way towards the S's, a 2-second lead. Ryan Cobb has over the 8 of Randy Arms. Murphy Jr. still behind Baldwin. Baldwin is closing quick on Embry. Take a look at that. Through that final turn, here comes the 4 Advanced Auto Parts Toyota Camry of Dalton Baldwin. That is your series points leader right there, folks. Glenn Murphy Jr. 3rd, Chris Ostrander tonight. Not having a good night here at Sonoma, currently running back in 12th position. He's your 2nd in points coming into this race. Told me today that he would have a good shot in this chase if this race was not put in it. Back to the lead is Ryan Cobb through turn number 5. Holds off Randy Arms. Arms really heavy on the brakes, and Embry heavy on the brakes through the 5th turn. Cobb down the back straightaway towards that turn 10. Will slow it up, get through that turn, make his way to the front stretch. It's going to be 10 laps to go. Ryan Cobb towards turn number 3. Just under a 1-second lead over the 8 of Randy Arms. Arms is really picking up the pace late in the laps here as we go through turn number 4. Looking back to Baldwin as he's now caught Craig Embry into turn number 5. Through the S's they go, and Baldwin looks to hunt down 4th position and take it away from the 87 of Craig Embry. And Baldwin through that turn. Look at that grip that car has got. Baldwin just rolled that Camry right through and was able to almost make a pass on Craig Embry. And Embry's going to push wide, and there goes Dalton Baldwin. A little mishap from that 87 car, and he goes by to the inside. So Dalton Baldwin now looks to chase down Mike Springer through the fourth turn. Into the single-digit laps we have now, just 9 remaining. Ryan Cobb uncontested at the race lead. Here is your summary statistics in the bottom left. Total cautions, lead changes coming from a little bit of pit action, I should say. So we do have a couple lead changes there. And Ryan Cobb through that turn. Top 5, Cobb, Arms, Springer, Embry, and Baldwin. But it will get shuffled up this time around. As you can see, Baldwin into 4th as he was able to get around Craig Embry. Around turn number 3, last lap. Now feeling the pressure from the 4 of Baldwin into turn number 4. And take a look at that to the inside, coming down towards turn number 5. Dalton Baldwin's going to go to the inside, and ladies and gentlemen, that Camry picks up 3rd position with 8 laps to go, and the hunt begins. Dalton Baldwin now looking to gain some time as we show you the information. Just 2 seconds behind Randy Arms. Car that started 11th position here tonight and into the top 3 with 8 laps to go. Can he do it, folks? That is your series points leader on the move. Hard Charger award already given to this guy tonight. Cobb into the first turn, climbing that hill towards turn number 2. Out to about 4 seconds ahead of Dalton Baldwin. As he makes his way towards turn number 5, Baldwin's in the rearview mirror. Arms, wow, really driving the wheels off. I've seen some smoke fly from Dalton Baldwin back there in 3rd position. Following Dylan Landry behind Glenn Murphy Jr. back in 7th position. Again, folks, not running any hood on that car after it snapped loose. Loose debris on the track, causing 2 drivers to spin out. And Kevin Trzynski now looking to chase down Dylan Landry out of the final turn for lap number 7. For 7 laps to remain. So it'll be 6 to go when they cross the start-finish line as we watch Ryan Cobb up into turn number 3. Down towards the 4th turn. Baldwin inching his way closer and closer to Randy Arms. Take a look at this, Mike Springer. Mike Springer has regained some ground on the 4. Again, talking about Mike Springer, folks. This driver has come to life late in the series and has looked really solid. Currently 5th in the overall points. He's had 4 top 5s and 12 top 10s. So, with 5 laps to go, who's it going to be? 1 second lead for Randy Arms. 3 second gap between Cobb and Baldwin. As we watch him come into the fourth turn. Any mishaps late in this race, folks, and it's going to spell disaster for anyone. Philip Neese back in 8th position, working his way into turn 4. Nick Dykstra, 9th position, and Rob Haynes rounding out your top 10 with 5 to go. Ostrander into the 4th turn. Trzynski currently running in 12th position, started 6th. Had some issues early on as he finds himself behind the 86 of Dylan Landry and the 48 of Chris Murphy Jr. So with 4 laps to go, Ryan Cobb climbs the hill of turn 3 and down towards the 4th turn. Time is running out for Arms and Baldwin. Into turn number 5 goes the 51 UCF Chevrolet of Ryan Cobb. Springer now looking to hold off the 87 of Embry. Talk about tough brakes. Craig Embry tonight, folks. Started 2nd, tried to make an early on pass around Ryan Cobb. Got loose, fell back to 4th, climbed his way back to 2nd. Got loose again, fell back to 4th. And by that time, Dalton Baldwin had entered the scene and took over 5th position from him. He was able to get back through to the top 5 and is now looking to get inside the top 4. Three laps remain for Ryan Cobb tonight. As you see it, 30 laps led, and Randy Arms looking to challenge him. 6/10 off the pace, and they are gaining quick. Through turn number 3, the pressure begins to climb here, folks, in the last final laps. You can see all the cars there in the top 3. What is going to happen? Towards turn number 5, Arms and Baldwin really putting it on now. It is go time for the 8 and the 4. Driver that has led every lap of this race for the most part, now feeling the pressure, especially Randy Arms. John Hollis locking up those brakes into turn number 10. Will throw some rubber down. Baldwin going to look for an outside pass on Arms, not going to have it. And there's some daylight. Ryan Cobb gets some daylight down that front stretch. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 2 laps. It's going to be the white flag the next time by. Lap traffic ahead. John Hollis says, I won't even interfere. I'm going to go off the course through the dirt. That Livewire Chevrolet just went live into the dirt. Into the 3rd turn, Cobb. 3/4 a second lead over Randy Arms into the 4th turn. They are going to have to give it all they've got, ladies and gentlemen, through turn number 5. You can see they want it bad. Baldwin trying to get into the runner-up slot to challenge Cobb. Who pushed wide. Ladies and gentlemen, Randy Arms pushed wide, and wow, there's going to be some contact. Some contact between Arms and Baldwin through turn 10. The white flag is in the air. Baldwin has got to chase down Cobb But that little incident with Arms right there may have solidified the victory here. Scott Brisk left traffic will close the door as Cobb goes around. Turn number 3. Baldwin gaining quick. Just a half a second behind. Baldwin not going to have enough, ladies and gentlemen, as we watch. Ryan Cobb through the S's has enough time. As long as he comes through that final turn, he's got victory. He'll be coming to the checkered flag. Ryan Cobb through turn number 9. Makes his way down towards the 10th turn. Here we go. Last turn to go. And he's got it, folks, into the front stretch. Your winner here tonight with a checkered flag in the air. Ryan Cobb will take victory here at Sonoma. Dalton Baldwin with an impressive feat from 11th position will finish second. Craig Embry, Randy Arms third, Craig Embry fourth. And rounding out your top 5 tonight, Mike Springer picks up his 5th top 5 here in the Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series. Making his final lap around the track, taking a victory lap. You can hear the excitement on the throttle from Ryan Cobb. Fast lap time here tonight, 1 minute 15 seconds, 0.7. Led 33 laps of this race, started on the pole and took it all the way to victory lane. And there comes the victory burnout through the middle. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for your winner here tonight, Ryan Cobb in the 51 UCF Knights Chevrolet. Burn that grip down. So with Cobb picking up the victory here tonight, that is going to throw some wrenches in the cogs for the series points. Although Baldwin was as close to the win as possible in second position, will help his chances. So with that said, folks, after we see the victory burnout here, we are going to go live now to the 3rd position finisher, Randy Arms. Get some thoughts and perspective on this race tonight.
Does he don't
it's a
like
good,
the
hard-fought battle as we take a look coming to that number 8 car, Randy Arms. Tell us, Randy, how did you feel here at the road course? Did you feel confident, or was it a little bit of nerve-wracking up at the start?
It was pretty nerve-wracking. I'm not really the best at road racing. We was able to start up front and just kind of stay up there and have a good battle there at the end with Dalton and Ryan.
Tell us, you found yourself around Mike Springer and Craig Embry a lot in the race. You saw Craig Embry trying to make the inside pass on Ryan Cobb. You were able to go around and held on to second position for quite a while. What was that like?
To be honest with you, I really thought Craig might have been able to win it if he could have got by Ryan, but and then he kind of he messed up there that one turn. I was able to get by him, and then I think he got passed by Mike there too. And it's just so hard to pass here. You really have to have the guy to make a mistake to really have a chance to pass anybody.
Well, bringing the Ulan's car to third position here tonight, very well done. Is there any shout-outs you'd like to give?
I just want to thank the sponsors and the team, the guys back at the shop, and just the Dalton. That was a real good race, and didn't really ever get to Ryan, but a good job on his win.
All right. Well, congratulations to you here tonight, Randy, coming in third position here at Sonoma.
Thank you, Dustin.
Going to go live to the runner-up finisher, the driver we see here in the Toyota Camry. Advanced Auto Parts paint scheme running on it tonight. Worked his way, starting on the grid at 11th position, came all the way back and had a chance to possibly even face Ryan Cobb at one point, but through that 10th turn, got into a little contact there with Randy Arms and Dalton. I tell you, it's got to be happy with your finish here tonight, finishing second at least, but kind of probably a little bit upset not being able to challenge Cobb for the lead.
Yeah, no, I definitely would have liked to have gotten a shot at him there on that last lap. I got a shot to pass Randy there going into the hairpin, and it's really hard to, when you get up with those guys that really know what they're doing at these road courses, it's hard to get opportunities to pass them. And so I had to take it, and I just rolled into that turn a little too hot and kind of slid up, and that gave Ryan the space he needed to get out there and get away from me. But definitely happy with second. Always happy with the top three or so at a road course. I worked a long time ago on my road course racing. I never really was that good till about 4 or 5 years ago. Started really working on it. So definitely happy with that finish, a good points finish. We're in the chase now, so definitely good to get those finishes. It just, I don't know if you caught it, but the halfway break, I had to go back down pit road and drop to the back again. And after I'd already drove,
about 9th position, I believe, once you came back out.
Yeah, and after I drove from 11th all the way up there, I had to go back there because I had accidentally unchecked my fuel box in the pit settings. And for anyone listening who doesn't know, on iRacing, we make our pit selections, our tires and our fuel and how much we want to take and all that just through check boxes and everything. So I'd accidentally unchecked that, and I had to go back down and get fuel. So definitely having to do that to be able to still drive back through there and get second definitely was really awesome. And it was a good race. It was a good race by everybody. I thought everyone did a great job.
Well, seeing the fact that Chris Ostrander was second in position, picking up 2 spots and points, just about 9 points behind you coming into tonight's race. He finishes 11th. You finished second. Glenn Murphy Jr. fell back 1, and I think he finishes, 6th position here tonight. Going to be a little bit more comfort room moving into next week's race, chase round number 4. Going back in time to the old Daytona track, what can we expect from that bumpy 07 track and the 4 team?
I think you can expect a lot of people to be bottoming out a lot, and definitely any time I've gone back and ran that track, which is a cool thing iRacing allows you to do, is run a few older tracks before they got repaved. It's really tight off turn 4 there, and I think you might see a lot of issues next week with people exiting off turn 4. You probably won't see a whole lot of 3 wide. Everyone's going to probably stay single file, but I think it should make for a good race because the inside line's a little bit more bumpy than the outside line is. So it should be pretty interesting. It's definitely nice having comfort room in the points going into a race like that. Daytona and those super speedways are always the wild cards, and you really just want to survive those when you're in the chase and just get a decent points day. So definitely getting a good points day at a kind of wild card here at Sonoma with the road course and getting a good gap out there. That gives me a little bit of luxury to kind of not have to be super careful next week at that old Daytona track.
Well, was there any final shout-outs you'd like to give tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank Advanced Auto Parts. They help us out a lot with our real racing stuff, our tour modified stuff, and we'll be racing at Caraway Speedway in the NASCAR Southern Modified Tour next week. So definitely check that out. But yeah, I put Advanced Auto Parts on the hood tonight because they really try and help us out a lot. Children's Dream Racer, they're great, they're awesome. Always give them a look. Please try and give a donation if you can. It's some really awesome stuff. And BG products. I always run Marvel and Netflix on my cars because I really like them. I like their companies, so they're pretty cool. And AMS League does a great job. All the members do a great job. You do a great job. Everyone's doing great.
Well, you got to be feeling great from coming back twice from around 9th position all the way up to 2nd. So congratulations here tonight, Dalton. We'll see you next week when we go back in time to circa 2007 Daytona track.
All right, thanks, man. I'll see you there.
All right. Well, after a lengthy runner-up speech that we got, a lecture from Dalton Baldwin, let's move on now to your race winner here tonight in that UCF Nice Chevrolet. Ryan Cobb, the guy who started on the pole, able to carry his way all the way through. 33 laps total led here tonight. Ryan, at one point you found yourself very much cushioned up to about 2 to 2.5 second lead throughout the night. And then it was about a couple laps to go. You saw that Randy Arms and Dalton Baldwin were gaining on us. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the tire wear was pretty good there. It did get really difficult to drive at the end of the run. Just made a little bit of a mistake there. Caught myself watching the mirror just a little too much, and then just buckled down after that and looked out the windshield and tried to drive away again to the finish.
What's it feel like to take victory here in a chase series where guys are battling in points?
It won't affect it too bad. Plus, again, getting back into driving, just preparing for next season. I'm going to go for a full points championship next season as well as a team championship. So just, again, honing the skills again, getting back into the drive. But I just love road courses, man. I love ovals as well, but anytime we get on a road course, I have a great time.
All right. Is there any shout-outs you'd like to give for your victory here tonight at Sonoma?
No, thank you guys at the Digital Forge Racing Network. Thank AMS. They really do put on a good show. Thank the guys over at All Out Racing, for giving me some great equipment this week, and we'll move on and keep on trucking away.
All right. Well, appreciate it, Ryan. Congratulations here at Sonoma. We'll see you next week at Circa 2007 Daytona track.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
What a night it was, folks. Road racing. Twists and turns here in this chase round. Started out at a super speedway in Michigan, moved on to a short track at Iowa, and tonight in chase round number 3 went road racing here at Sonoma. Summary statistics in your bottom left: out of the 35 laps completed, 2 lead changes and the 1 total caution. Final results tonight: Ryan Cobb, the 51 car, picks up the victory. Dalton Baldwin in 2nd, Randy Arms in 3rd, Craig Embry 4th. Mike Springer rounding out your top 5. Glenn Murphy Jr., Dylan Landry, Philip Neese, Nick Dykstra III, and Rob Haynes rounding out your top 10. Chris Ostrander, Kevin Trzynski, Lance Carpenter, Scott Briss, John Olives, Tyler Pop, Stephen Landry, Thomas Conheady, Clay Dildine, John Joyce through 20. Well, actually, Clay Dildine and John Joyce showing up for autographs here tonight, and that's pretty much rounding out your field here at Sonoma. Next week, Circa 2007 Daytona track. They'll go road racing back at the super speedways, but it's going to be a bumpy ride. It was back before they repaved it, so we'll have to see how that will play out next Tuesday night as they will take on 90 laps at that Daytona track. Coming up tomorrow night, the Modified Madness Tour in the CRA League continues. Tour Modifieds, SK Modifieds battling it out on short track racing. You definitely want to tune in for that Thursday night. The PRL League is back in action with their Formula Renault 2.0 League. Both of those Wednesday and Thursday night races will be on iRacing Live. But that's going to do it for us here tonight, folks. I'm Dustin Caldwell saying thanks for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network, and we'll see you tomorrow night.